All right, so I'm actually getting ready to make some videos. I was going to make one video doing all this, but I decided let's just go ahead and split this up into 3 videos because it'll probably be more of a lengthy video, probably at least a half hour or more if I tried to do this in one. So this is going to be 3 videos. So I guess in a way you're going to get to kind of see what's coming up. And I'm just going to go ahead and get the camera flipped around and show you what we're getting ready to play with. And one of them, yeah, it's something you've been seeing before. We just need to do some tweaks. And then one of these is going to be the first time, and the other one's more tweaks. So, alrighty, let me flip the camera around. This is going to be 3 videos in the end, but you're going to kind of get a preview here. All right. All right, this is going to end up being 3 videos, but I figured since I got them all sitting here, I'll just kind of give you a quickie. The 395. All I did was get rid of the big air filter. So the big air filter that was sticking on there was originally off of this here Dolmar, and I put it back onto the Dolmar. And whenever I did that, I put the factory one back on. The Dolmar, I don't have the factory plastic and stuff, or if I do, it's lost somewhere. And I needed to put an air filter on it, so I went ahead and just moved it back over. You know what I mean? But we're going to be giving that a test run. And since I moved this back to the factory air filter, I want to give it a run. Make sure my tune's still good. And then this is the nitromethane build. Made some tweaks there. I shouldn't say I made some tweaks. The last time it was running and then it quit running. Put a new plug in it. It fired right up. I was able to purge it. I want to give it another run to make sure it's good. And then I shortened up this starter. I'm working on figuring out an extension that I like for the starter handles. So that's kind of a preview of what we're going to do here. Today, though, we're going to play with the Dolmar. This is originally a 7300, but it's got a pretty, it's a hodgepodge of parts. There's a lot of the Makita parts and Dolmar parts mixed together. This might have started as the Makita version, just because there's a lot of Makita parts on there. In the parts that I don't know. I think it started as a Makita, but I don't know. It was a 7300. I put a 7900 top end on it, and it's just been sitting for a while now. I built it a little while back, and it had an air leak, and I forgot about it. I bet you it's been 6 months. So I went ahead. I got the air leak fixed. It's still having some issues at the trigger. It doesn't want to return to idle all the time. So I may have got it. We'll see. I thought it might need a throttle cable, but we'll see though. I may have got it figured, or working. And we're just talking WD-40 and a lot of, trigger pulling. We'll see if she cleans up. But I was having trouble with the trigger. She's not wanting to return to idle. But we'll see how that goes. And I think I got the air leak fixed. But yes, I built this saw. It runs, and I've never put it in the wood, so today is basically going to be the first cuts on this saw. You know what I mean? Fresh grind on the chain. Not much else. It's a Dolmar. This was intended to be my 5 cube race build. I had said before about how, well, I've said a bunch of times how I want to build more of my saws for racing. I've been, I have a lot of stuff that was built by other people, and I want to start running stuff that I've built more and more and more. And this is supposed to be the one to replace the Hopper saw, the Hopper 372, as my 5 cubic inch race build. The thing is, just by running it on the bench in here, I'm fairly certain it's not going to be anywhere near the performance level of the Hopper build. So it's been like, it runs, but I'm not in a hurry, because I'm pretty certain I'm going back into this saw to try to get more out of it. It's kind of the way it is, But I have been slowly working at trying to get more and more saws that I've built ready for the races, and that's what this one's about. So yeah, let's go ahead and work at making some cuts out of it, get some tuning done to it. She doesn't like to idle correctly, so we'll see how that kind of plays out. I'm not happy with the way it's idling. Part of it might be the muffler. That's the one thing I haven't done yet is I opened this muffler up like stupid, and I have another muffler I'm going to put on it and put more of a traditional muffler mod on it. I just haven't got that far yet. I just got her to the point where we're ready to make some cuts. We'll worry about that later, you know. It's just kind of annoying. It's really loud and it's kind of annoying. So I've been I guess you can say I'm getting old. I don't like them that loud anymore, and I like them to be kind of quiet but still open and good and free flowing. So that's kind of where this one's at. We're going to go ahead and make some cuts with it, and let's see how she goes. All right, so let's take this 7900 or 7300 or whatever you want to call it and give it a run. All right, I'm going to make some cuts off of this. This is the small side of the log. It's just, I've been working off the big side, the fat side. Everybody wants to cut the bigger stuff, you know what I mean? For this, I'm actually going to cut off the small side just because it's a perfect opportunity. You know, just giving us all some run time, you know what I mean? And look, I'm so top heavy on this, or so heavy on this side, she's wanting to move. So let's go ahead and just make her cuts off of this side. Let's get her fired up. The 7900, we do have a compression release. Can you hear it echo? I can hear it echo all through the woods. Well, it's running horribly. Either coil or something. She's basically four-stroking the whole time in the cut. You probably can't hear it because of how loud the muffler is, but it's kind of like that four-stroking the whole time in the cut. And the carburetor, I don't know, it runs like it's governed. It's a 372 carburetor. This is an aftermarket 372 carb. I should get into it and look and see if it's a governed carb or what's going on there, because I had to lean it out to about a quarter of a turn to start even think about trying to clean up. And as soon as I went to turn it richer, everything went haywire. As soon as I touched the idle circuit to try to fatten it up some, she just shut off. So something's funky going on in there, you know what I mean? Something funky is going on in there. But she runs, she ain't ready, not by a long shot. So yeah, Dolmar's a flop right now. Got some work to do. I'm gonna go ahead and move into the 395. I was going to do these as separate videos, but since that's such a flop, we're gonna add the 395 to this video. And see how she does. I just need to make sure the tune's good. And I was playing with the tune whenever I was doing the sprockets and all those stuff. And if you've seen that video where I was playing with sprockets and switching things out, switched up to another bar and everything, basically the end result that I like is it's the same chain on all of them, test cuts. The one I like is the 8-pin. So whenever you've seen that video, the 8-pin version is the one that I liked. And the one that was running a different bar was actually a 10-pin. And there wasn't much difference between the 8 and the 10-pin. There wasn't. In fact, I think if this was pulling just a touch more torque, it would be perfect for the 10-pin. Like say I decided to convert this to alcohol or something, it would add enough torque that I could easily put this on a 10-pin. But for now, with a 20-inch bar set up and the way I'm running it, the 8-pin's the way to go. If I want to go probably to like a 28-inch bar or something and start cutting on a little bit bigger wood, I'd probably take her back down to a 7. But for this setup here, I prefer the 8-pin. So let's go ahead out, make a couple of cuts, make sure we're good to go, after I put her back to the factory outro. Alrighty? Alright. See if I can shorten this log up enough to make it a little more stable. You know what I mean? We've been having trouble with the switch. Hopefully we're good. I did buy one switch, but I didn't buy enough to replace all of them. It might end up going on this one. I bought the momentary stop switch. I bought one. Might end up going on this all. Kids are fighting. Can you hear them? Let's give her a fire. Alright, you were watching me play with the switch there. If I fumble with it enough, I'll get it to shut off. The issue is, like say I take it to a race in which it's called, what they call a cold start, in which the saw is warmed up, then placed on the ground, and then you have to restart it and start making your cuts. The issue is shutting it off with a choke, which is what you were seeing me do. You just choke it and it shuts it off. The problem is it kind of floods it out a little bit, and you can't restart it on one pull. Now if I play with the switch and get her to shut off with the switch and not use the choke, you know, not flooding it out to shut it off, she starts in one pull, no problem. So definitely going to throw, I did get a switch. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw it in there. Probably going to replace all of them on all my saws with these momentary switches, but this one looks like it's going to get the first one. Other than that, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that saw. You know what I mean? I'm actually pretty happy with that 395 right now. It's starting, I can tell she's starting to get settled in there. The you know, the rings are getting seated and all that stuff. I can definitely tell that the tune's starting to settle in. I don't really notice a difference on this saw with that air filter, you know, by switching out the air filter and taking it back to the factory. Don't really notice a difference except for at idle. She got a little fatter at the idle side, but on the high side, I didn't really notice a difference at all. So yeah, no point in putting one of those on here. And I think those air filters, putting those big air filters on, it's something you can do. It, like if you're building an old used saw or something and you don't have an air filter, throw one of them on. They're easy to get, you know, put on. And, you know, you're going to find some of them like it, you know, some saws do like it. Like my 4-cube build, I've ran it before and after I put that big tall air filter on it, and there was definitely a difference. So like that saw definitely took to putting that big air filter on there. And this one here, don't really notice it so much. So, you know, hey, she works on some, she don't on others. And yeah, pretty happy with the way this 395 is turning out. Thinking we're going to end up doing a piston swap though. There's some piston slap going on in there, and I think it's the cheap top end. The question is whether or not it's the piston or the cylinder. I'm hoping it's in the piston. And if you see my other videos about this modifications that I've been doing to the pistons to try to get a little more out of the builds, I think we went in the wrong direction doing that. So I got like 4 saws that would need a piston swap in order to get rid of it, and this is one of them. I'm fairly certain if I do a piston swap, I'm going to gain a bit more, probably a noticeable amount more. But for now, she runs good, she runs fine. It's sitting at a really high roof, and I think that modification slowed down how fast the exhaust can get out. So it's kind of like counteracting the effect of having it at a higher roof because it's coming out slower. I think that's what we're seeing go on here. I'm running the roof higher, but I'm slowing the speed in which the exhaust can get out, so it's kind of like cancels it, you know. There's a viewer here that posted a comment a little while back. You know, I wish I could remember the words he used, but he definitely seemed like he knew what he was talking about, and I think he's on the right track. I think we need to get these pistons swapped out. This one, there's a couple other ones. We'll be doing videos on getting pistons swapped out and everything, getting them, you know, more to a different, more traditional style piston setup. I'm finding that making modifications to your pistons to change the numbers, like putting little notches in and stuff, may not be the best thing to do when you're going for more of a performance build. You know what I mean? I think that's what we're seeing going on here. But anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this one. We got to run the Dolmar. It didn't run very well. Definitely some issues going on there. And the 395, I'm happy with this one. She's turned out, I mean, well, the 395, I started with a brand new saw. And the Dolmar was an old beat up saw. It wasn't running when I got it. I think, if I remember correctly, it was in pieces. So we got some bugs to work out with that sucker, you know. It's the way she goes. Alrighty, so we'll catch you in the next one. Later.